All right, how we doing? So today's 6th January. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon. So I'm going to do a tour of Newport News, okay? This is going to be the old part of Newport News, downtown. So you have an uptown and downtown. Downtown is where you have a lot of historical landmarks like the Shipyard, the docks and stuff like that, James River. This area is Christopher Newport University. All right, and it was founded, I believe it was like in the 60s, something like that. It was like a community college for William and Mary in Williamsburg. And I'll do, if time permits, I'll get a tour of Colonial Williamsburg, which is about 20 miles kind of northwest, headed towards Richmond. But they eventually changed it to Christopher Newport College. I'm not sure when they did that. And it became university status in the early 90s. And all this stuff is pretty much brand new. It's been built over the last maybe 15 years. It was just a few buildings here. I went here for one semester. And there's even some stuff right here, over here on War Boulevard, okay? That's like apartments and some other stores and stuff like that. Again, none of this stuff was here. So let's start by doing this segment here, and we'll move on to other clips in other areas, okay? All right, how we doing? So today's 6th January. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon. So I'm going to do a tour of Newport News, okay? This is going to be the old part of Newport News, downtown. So you have an uptown and downtown. Downtown is where you have a lot of historical landmarks like the Shipyard, the docks and stuff like that, James River. This area is Christopher Newport University. All right, and it was founded, I believe it was like in the 60s, something like that. It was like a community college for William and Mary in Williamsburg. And I'll do, if time permits, I'll get a tour of Colonial Williamsburg, which is about 20 miles kind of northwest, headed towards Richmond. But they eventually changed it to Christopher Newport College. I'm not sure when they did that. And it became university status in the early 90s. And all this stuff is pretty much brand new. It's been built over the last maybe 15 years. It was just a few buildings here. I went here for one semester. And there's even some stuff right here, over here on War Boulevard, okay? That's like apartments and some other stores and stuff like that. Again, none of this stuff was here. So let's start by doing this segment here, and we'll move on to other clips in other areas, okay? All right, so it may be a little bright sun. So this is the administrative building of CNU and the visitor. This is where kids come and register, right over here. And I remember the old administration building was fairly small, okay? And I just want to show here, this used to be a high school a long time ago, Ferguson High School. I'm sorry about that glare there, okay? Now it's a performing arts center. They were the only school that I knew of in the state of Virginia that had an undefeated basketball team in the 70s, late 70s, and won the state championship. And I think they had a guy from there. He was a point guard that did play in the NBA or ABA for a very short time. So we're coming from there. I'm sorry about that sun there. And here's like Warwick Boulevard. And we can move on to the Mariners Museum at this point, okay? Which James River is about a mile west of here. So it'll be to my right, and we're gonna go down a little road that'll go to Mariners Museum, which pays tribute pretty much to Navy sailors and also the ships in the military. So let's go on and move on. All right, so this is the Mariners Museum here. And again, it pays tribute to a lot of the wars that they had here during the Revolutionary War, Civil War, and also the contributions like the naval bases over here and the Army bases put in throughout the First War and Second World War, along with Vietnam. So it had a lot of different American military and war history here. Apparently it is closed, okay, because of what's going on at the times right now. It's in a very nice area here, okay, and maybe, I don't know, 6 months to a year, I'll do a more specific tour of the museums, because I may want to do this one, and there's a aerospace museum. I did that one on the Hampton tour, and there's a couple of other museums I may want to do, okay? So let's go on and move on to another part of Newport News. All right, so here's, I don't like this camera here. So we're on the James River Bridge here, or where the James River is, all right? A lot of different historical stuff here. There's a bunch of houses there, they're yonder. Let me enlarge it, along the river bank there. Named after King James, okay? And Newport News is named after Christopher Newport, that founded the town of Newport News. As you know, that there are already settlements here with the Powhatan Indian tribes here, and they had Spanish people here and for a while, and then it was British people. Yes, the Spanish was here on the east too, okay? And I think there was a war happened, and the British ended up taking the east, okay? They have signs out here that says that, okay? But anyway, back to, okay, so here's some high rises here, and there's some very successful dignitaries that live over there. My mom knows somebody who lives over there, and here's the James River Bridge. You can't see that good, but they have a pier over there, and it's a restaurant over there, over yonder, and that's basically US 258, okay? So here's the beach here. It's not that many people going to be on the beach because it's January, so maybe I can get a more profound footage of this maybe during the spring or the summer when I come out here again, when it's warmer, okay? So that's so much for the beach. Let's move on to another area, okay? We're going to move on probably to the Shipyard. All right, hello. So this is going to be a continuation of downtown Newport News. I wanted to add this onto the Shipyard segment, but I'm going to make this part of the tour of the Newport News segment here, and make the Shipyard a different segment. One for the Shipyard and the other one for downtown Newport News, because there's a lot to see down here, okay? This is where they make majority of the ships for the Navy here in Newport News, and it was a very prosperous town at one time. So I'm down on West Avenue here, okay? Like, this part right here is like where pretty much riverfront and the Shipyard here, but I'm going to turn around so you can see these very old buildings. Here's the West Avenue Library. Man, I haven't been down here in so long, man. Since like almost to be 25 years, and it's changed a lot. All right, so there's a big park over here to the left. I'm trying to think, they would have like little festivals over there and stuff. soccer games and all that you probably play football, maybe flag football or something, whatever you want to do over there. And again, some very old buildings and landmarks over here. Oh, okay. I know where I wanted to go here. I didn't go down far enough. I turned off. But at least you get to see this building here. This is, I don't know what this building is here. To the left. All right, this is something they did probably the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years. So you have the marine terminal across from this building. You can't see it from these bushes, so I don't know what that building is. There's some high rises here. But downtown in this municipal district area, it's like the city hall, corrections. Again, there's a jail over here, some banks and other stuff. But what I want to do is I want to take you guys over to the it's a replica of the Victory Tower in Paris. That they have one here in Newport News. Okay, so let me find it and I'll come on back. Oh, it's right here, actually. All right, so I'm gonna make a segment for this replica here, okay? All right, so I'm running out of daylight, so I'm going to take advantage of this time here to do this replica of the Victory Tower here in Paris. Okay, so I visit here every now and then. I haven't been here in a while there. Okay. So there you have it. Victory, 1917-18, okay? Let me see what happened at that time. That's when, I believe, that's when the First World War ended, okay? So they put this, the tower here in Newport News. The Germans were over there for a few years. I think it was like 5 or 6 years, according to my history books and all that. And then it was a U.S. job to run the Germans out of France, okay? In the midst of all that, here's a Warwick Tower right here and some other stuff. I don't know what this stuff is here. Some type of landmark relating to. All right, so much for that. I'm going to get out of the cold because it's like 30 degrees out here. It's really cold in Virginia, colder than I expected, and I left my jacket back home. The City Hall. All right, I'm going to go and move on.